Hey, welcome to Mind Your Own Biz, the podcast where we help small business owners with big dreams build something authentically you. I'm Alicia Yervis, educator, marketer, designer, nacho enthusiast, and your big sister in business. I'm excited for us to have this cozy spot to chat. Each episode, we'll tackle candid conversations, actionable tips, and a few fun tangents to help you run your business your way. Because business is always personal, no matter what anyone says. So grab your iced coffee or those nachos and let's get started. Hey friend, Alicia here. So I'm popping in with a quick little intro, or a second intro, because you already heard my first regular podcast intro, before we get into today's episode, because this is a little bit different. Earlier today, I hosted a live free screen share tour of Flodesk, which is the email platform that I use every single day to stay connected with my audience. It was a lot of fun. It was super casual. And a bunch of you had asked if there'd be a replay. And since I'm always team reuse and repurpose, I figured why not also pop it into the podcast feed for you as a little bonus episode. So just a quick note before we dive into this episode. At the time of this recording, it is Monday, November 25th, 2025. It is also Thanksgiving week here in the US. So if you're listening to this in real time, everything I'm talking about is happening right now. If you're listening later, just know that this is a timely pop-up holiday week bonus episode that I wanted to share because so many of you were curious. Now, another quick heads up. This was a visual presentation. I'm clicking around my real Flodesk account, showing templates and layouts and all the nerdy behind the scenes stuff, which means that the best experience is definitely going to be for you to watch the video version of this episode on my YouTube channel. If you want to see everything that I'm describing, the full replay is up on YouTube, and the link to that is in the show notes here. But even in audio form, there's still a ton of value in here, especially if you've been curious about email marketing or wondering what Flodesk actually looks like, or if you just want to hear how I use it in my business. And one more important thing to note before I jump into this is that this episode is kind of time sensitive. So Flodesk is actually retiring their unlimited plan very soon. So if you're listening to this in real time and you've been thinking about trying Flodesk, make sure you check the show notes for my link so you can grab the free trial and get 50% off your first year before the plan disappears for good on November 28th, 2025. So that is literally 5 days from now. That is Friday, November 28th, 2025. All right, my friend, that is it from me up front. Just want to make sure to give you some context here before you listen to this bonus episode I threw together. So enjoy. If you want the full visual experience, like I said, head over to my YouTube page and you can watch the full video replay, get all the context, see all the visuals and all that stuff. All right, my friend, let's jump in. We are going to give it another minute or two to let a couple folks in. Someone was just popping in and out. I don't know how many people we'll have today. Some folks told me they're going to wait for the replay because it's a little difficult on a Monday during Thanksgiving week. I get it. I threw this together at the last minute because I have some really cool stuff I want you to know about because email matters so much to me. And last week I had actually done this for a friend and just kind of gave her a tour of the tool that I use. And I was like, I really should open this up to the rest of my audience. So we do have a bunch of signups, but again, I don't know how many people will be here live or not. So I'm going to give it another minute. I'm so happy to be doing this today. Thank you to everyone who is here and those of you watching the replay. Hello. I hope you have an awesome Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. My name's Alicia Yervis. If you don't know me, I'm a marketer, designer, podcaster, educator, and nacho enthusiast, Jersey girl. And my company, Alicia Yervis Creative, is based here on the Jersey Shore. I've been in business for a little over 8 years, and I love to work with women to help them bring more of their unique personality into their business, into their brand. I believe that you are your brand, and when you are yourself, you will find your people. Social media and email are two of the ways that I have been doing that with my own business. And so I'm really just excited to jump into all of that today. This is super informal. I really cannot stress how unplanned this is. I have a little agenda I'm going to be going off of, but this is going to be just free flowing riffing. No slides. Well, there's one slide, but that's just to show you the details of something. But no big production, just me sharing my screen, clicking around inside my real Flodesk account. And this is not a strategy workshop or a writing class. There's no like homework for you to do or anything. Today is the what, not the how. I'm just simply showing you the email platform I use every day so you can see what it actually looks like. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. If you have questions at any point, drop them in the chat. Actually, before we do that, let's test the chat. I want to make sure it's working. So give me a second here. Why don't you tell me where you're joining from today? And if you can hear me and see me, tell me all those things in the chat. Like I said, I'm here on the Jersey Shore. And I just want to make sure that the chat is working. If you could give me a thumbs up in there. While you're doing that, let me just talk about email marketing in general. Actually, I'm not seeing any answers, so I'm going to make sure that you can all meeting group chat and anyone directly. Yeah, it says you can. There we go. Okay, thank you, Anissa. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Hi, friend. How are you? Anissa, I was just saying, I got a bunch of messages from people who are like, I want to do this, but I'm going to have to watch the replay because Monday during Thanksgiving week is a little tough, and I get it. So we're just going to rock, and thank you so much for being here. So a little bit about email marketing in general, real quick, just before we talk about Flodesk. I want to ground ourselves in what email marketing actually is. It's just simply connecting with your audience directly. It's sharing updates, stories, offers, value without relying on the social media algorithm, because the social media algorithm, it controls so much of our life, unfortunately. And I have a social media course. So like, I love social media too. It's just a different animal. And so I look at email marketing as like another piece of the pie. Oh yeah, Anissa, good. I'm glad you could stay for the whole time. Awesome. Email is one piece of, the pizza, for your marketing toolbox, and social media is another piece of the pizza, and so on and so forth. And the reason I love email is because it's super reliable. It's one of the highest ROI ways to stay connected with your people who actually want to hear from you because they're opting in to hear from you, right? And so I personally love email because it's personal, it's direct, it's reliable, unlike social media. Not to say that email accounts can't go down, and have, glitches and things like that. Of course they can. Everything can, right? But with social media, how often do you hear that in the news? Oh, Facebook was down for a whole day. Instagram had another outage of a whole, afternoon. Like, it really can affect your bottom line when you can't rely on a marketing tool. And when so much of social media now is like pay to play, run ads, then we'll show you to more people. It's just like email, you have more control because you also own your list. You don't own your social media followers. So if you get locked out of your account, you get kicked out for no reason, someone hacks you, it can be really hard to get out of that, undo that, if you even can at all. There's a local donut shop by me called Broad Street Dough Co. here in New Jersey, and they went through this a couple years ago. They're a very viral kind of influencer type account. Really, really pretty donuts, tons of toppings, very colorful, just like a fun, creative brand. And they had over 500,000 followers. And in a second, it was gone because someone hacked them and locked them out. Now, that ended up being a happy story because after many, many months, they were able to recover it through some miracle. But they had to kind of start a new account from scratch, start relying on email marketing and other things, so it sucks. I get that social media is free, but there's also something to be said for investing in your business. And I know times are tough. I get it. But Flodesk and email marketing has been something that I've been using for many years. And it's, one of the main pillars that I run my business on. And so I share updates, I share offers, behind the scenes things, freebies, all that fun stuff. So before we go further, I would love to know which one feels like you, and drop this in the chat, drop the letter in the chat, where you're at with email marketing, just out of curiosity. So A, never tried email yet. B, Have a list, but I never email them, or I have never emailed them. C, I email sometimes, but I'd love to be more confident. D, email regularly, but I'm exploring other options. Or E, I'm just nosy and I wanted to see inside your account. No judgment. I don't care. But I'd love to know where you're at in the process with email marketing. If you're watching this on the replay, I'd love if you sent me an email, tell me where you're at. It's just good information for me to have. I'd love to know where you're at in the process, and no right or wrong answer, either way. Anissa is saying D and a little E. Okay, so she emails regularly, but she's exploring some other platforms, and she's also nosy and just wanted to see inside my account. Okay, cool. So, okay, what Flodesk actually is. So, Flodesk is the email marketing platform that I use every single day. It's where I design and send my emails. It's where I build opt-in forms. It's where I automate things. I organize my subscribers, and I even sell digital products. And it's super visual. It's beginner friendly. It was built with small business owners and creatives in mind. And I've actually been with them since beta forever. And they really, really listen to their users. And they have some cool ways that you can give them suggestions, and they'll tell you where they're at in the process. I'll get to that later. But it's nice to see that they actually listen and really value the feedback. So I'm going to start by showing you a really polished version of their homepage and show you some of the features and some of the things. And then after that, we'll hop into my actual real account and click around over there. So give me 1 second here. Let me share my screen. And I'm going to ask you to make sure that you can see it. I'll have you tell me if everything is all good. Just a moment here. Okay. So give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, just so I know we're all good. Okay. Thank you, Anissa. All right. So this is the homepage of Flodesk.com. You'll notice right here at the top, email marketing that's different by design. Uncompromising design, robust deliverability. Flodesk emails get seen 17% more than industry average. And we're going to go into some of this stuff a bunch. But I'm just going to scroll for a little bit here, just because I want you to see the general vibe and style of what's possible in Flodesk. And again, I'm going to get into more of this as we go a little bit further. But just to show you some quick visuals, this is the email builder that they're showing here. The intuitive builder makes you the expert. Loved by designers and non-designers alike, our minimalist interface guides you to stunning design and best practices with ease. You can see here, it's another quick visual of them building out a form. This is an opt-in form. They have many different kinds of forms. You can see how easy it is to change colors, colors, fonts, your branding, the different layouts, the different photo layouts. We'll get into this later. And then every single email that you send out is really a statement on your brand. Like I said, you can do custom fonts. You can upload your brand colors. I'll show you how I did that. So it's just like all in one spot and really easy to make everything, cohesive and look like it's all coming from the same person in the same place. And then over time, people start to notice and remember what your marketing looks like. And they have really cool layouts within the email builder itself, so that you can make emails that look really cool. That was one of the first things that attracted me to Flodesk. Was, I forget who it was. It might have been Jenna Kutcher, because I was on her list for a long time. I think it was her. And yeah, one day her email started looking really different. And I was like, what the hell is she using? And so I had to do a little research. And this is when Flodesk was an itty bitty baby. And like I said, I joined them from beta. And over the years got to see how they listened to their people and adjusted and grew and added more features and all that kind of stuff. And really, like it's saying here, give you full creative control over how your stuff looks and letting you be able to do it in an easy way. You don't have to hire a designer, even though, hi, I'm a designer. I'm telling you, you don't have to hire me. You can just do this yourself. And there's so many cool features, and we're going to get into that. They also have awesome templates you can copy. You can do cool features like putting countdown timers in your emails, polls in your emails. This is great for getting information from your people, driving engagement, letting them help you decide maybe something you want to work on. Like, hey, I have these 3 ideas for my next workshop. Which one do you guys want next? And then you get that data. And of course, countdown timers are great for building urgency around a sale or a course, closing or whatever, maybe a product launch. Really, really cool stuff. Okay, so that's a little bit about that. But then I want to show you, let's go into the actual email tab for a second here. Design emails people love to get. This is like probably the core message of Flodesk. And what really drew me in, like I said, I was, very interested when I was seeing Jenna's emails, but because I loved to get them, I looked forward to like how they looked, and it made me pay attention to what was in them. I'm a really visual person, and having these cool layouts and just, it was just very different than the standard kind of newsletters that I might be getting from someone else who uses MailChimp or Constant Contact or, any number of email marketing tools that are out there. Like I said, they've got this really cool builder, really helps you do everything in a very simple way. They've got all these cool automations. They've got integrations with Canva and a number of other tools now, which makes your life super easy. Okay, going into, give me a second here. We talked about forms. Forms that convert at double the industry average. So forms meaning sign up for my freebie, come to my class, join my wait list, whatever. They have a wide variety of all these different kinds of forms that are so, so cool. And they allow you to edit and create forms from your phone as well, which is really cool if you're like, you're at an event maybe and you're selling products at a table and you're like, oh my God, I would love to be able to capture folks' email addresses right here. I only have my phone. Well, Flodesk is here for you. Set up your form, and there you go. You've got a live form that you can then show people on the phone and get them to sign up right then and there. All these different kinds of forms and landing pages. They've got video forms now, which I'm experimenting with myself. Really, really cool. Here's what I was talking about. Create and publish on the go. Intuitive builder for mobile and desktop. Really fun. And then Flodesk forms convert 2 times more than the industry standard. You can launch them in about 10 minutes or so, and they've converted more than 500 million visitors into subscribers. You could build your list right from social media as well, because they also have, the link in bio that we all use, right, for Instagram and stuff. You can make a custom one on Flodesk, and it's all connected to your Flodesk account. So everything, again, branded together under one umbrella, being able to pull in that social media aspect. You also can have people do this cool like spinner form for like if you wanted to run a sale or something. I've done that many, many times. You can have people opt in and out of different things that they're interested in hearing you from or hearing from you. I've only had one coffee today, so bear with me. And these forms really help your list grow. So let me go back up. I'm going to show you one more product here, and then we're going to get into my account. Well, this is the link in bio. I'll just show you that real quick. You can basically grab your handle, claim your handle, and then again, you can set up these individual link in bio pages and customize them the way that you want them to be. And that would be then what would replace your link in bio thing that you have. Or maybe you have Milkshake. That's another one that's like this. Maybe you have a custom one that you made through your website. All of those are great options, but Flodesk is here for you with that as well. And then you can totally design how you want it to look in about 5 minutes. You can get it all done. See how they're all different, but they're all the same in a way. Very cool. Okay, so we talked about email marketing. We talked about forms. We talked about link in bio. Now I want to show you workflows. So workflows is just another name for automations. That's why it's called Flodesk, workflows. So automations that build your business while you sleep. Create powerful email workflows that deliver the right content at the right time. So I have a ton of workflows and my virtual assistant, Caitlin, she couldn't be on this call, but she has helped me so much over the years too. She's a workflow master. She adds all this kind of, like you can see here, yes, no branch. She adds all this logic and stuff. She's like fancy dancy with it. I myself do use automations, but I do it in a more simple way because I bow down to her. But you don't have to do all the fancy dancy stuff. There's very, very simple workflows you can make. And basically what this does is you grow your list like overnight without doing anything. And this is, a workflow will automatically deliver a freebie or automatically deliver a confirmation email or automatically start sending a welcome sequence to your list. You set it up all in here. And it's great because it just runs in the background and you don't have to think about it. And you can update it and change it whenever you'd like. Like they say here, you get a freebie delivery, we could do a nurture series, a coupon delivery, event registration, a welcome series, purchase follow-up, abandoned cart reminder. That's new this year based on member feedback. A lot of people were asking for that. Re-engagement series. I'm actually running one of those as we speak because it's very, very good to clean your list. I hate the term list hygiene. Like, we need a better term, okay? I know it's important, but we need a better term. But I am trying to do more of that this year because I don't want to email people that don't want to hear from me, you know? And I get it. Life is always lifing, right? You got shit going on. Like, you might opt in and out of hearing from different people at different times, and that's totally cool. Um, and so I'm going through a list re-engagement process. And I can tell you that, it could be a little nerve-wracking because with every single email that you send, you're always going to get unsubscribers. I have gotten unsubscribers from the very first email I've sent. That's why list building is really important. As people unsubscribe, which they're just going to do, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. They're going to unsubscribe. That's why it's important to focus on keeping your list growing, with marketing, with freebies, with, all these different ways that people can sign up for your list because it's going to balance out. And with those folks that are unsubscribing, as I was pulling together my re-engagement campaign, you're seeing like basically Flodesk helps you understand who are the active people on your list and who are not active. And then you can kind of isolate those inactive people and send them what Flodesk is calling here a re-engagement series. And it's kind of like to poke them a couple times and be like, do you still want to hear from me? Like, are we still like friends or no? And then after they've gone through that series, they've either taken an action or they haven't. And then you can remove them and just not email them anymore. And it's up to you if you want to delete them or unsubscribe them. There's different like pluses and minuses for both things. I'm not going to get into strategy, but I'm just saying once you stop emailing the inactive people, your open rates skyrocket. And that's exactly what happened to me. And not to mention, if you keep emailing people who technically might not want to hear from you because they're not super active, it can really affect your email sender reputation. And that can be hard to recover and fix. So it's a very good idea to practice email list hygiene. Hate that phrase. So I just want to mention that too, that Flodesk can help you with that as well. So here you can kind of see what happens with a workflow. You're basically picking a trigger. So, okay, when someone makes a purchase, when someone fills out this form, when someone signs up for XYZ, whatever, that's when Flodesk knows to deliver the next piece of the workflow. And what they do is they operate based on segments, which I'm going to show you in a second. Segments is another word for tags in other email platforms. Basically just means the different buckets of people that took an action on a thing. So everyone who signed up for this freebie, everyone who bought this thing, everyone who, registered for this event or whatever, they become a segment in your list, which is great for down the road if you want to, target them by what they're interested in. So, okay, you bought my ultimate social media marketing checklist. Cool. I know you're interested in social media stuff. So then the next time you have an event or a product or a thing, you can target that specific segment, which is really, really great. And actually, in 2026, I want to personally get more into using segments in a more targeted way. I do use them now, but I'd like to get even more targeted with it. They also have analytics, help you understand how your automations and your emails are performing. You can see your workflows at a glance here, average click rate, they show you that, email volume, email activity, and so on. And it's got all the bells and whistles to maximize your revenue. Like I mentioned before, they've got time delays, the abandoned cart reminders, some advanced segmentation. They've got different integrations to some e-commerce platforms. So if you already have a Shopify site or you sell stuff on Wix or Squarespace or whatever, you could connect it to make it even more seamless. And then the final thing that I was mentioning here, I just want to make sure. Yeah, so audience. Nope, wrong. Sorry. I thought that was going to go into segments. Never mind. I'll get into that on my own. Okay. So, like I mentioned, Flodesk is just something that I live and die by. Or I should say, Flodesk is my ride or die. I love it so, so much. And it's clean, it's beautiful, and it's not overwhelming. And like, when I started my business, I used MailChimp in the beginning because I knew email marketing was important because I came from a theater background and I was in charge of sending out all the newsletters for the theater. And I used a variety of, platforms at the time. So I knew when I opened my business, I wanted to do that as well. But like I said, when I found this tool that Jenna was using, it changed the game for me because I was actually excited to make my emails and send them out. And I immediately, and still to this day, get tons of compliments on how it looks. Not to mention the fact that, like I said, it's clean, it's beautiful, it's not overwhelming, but they're also women owned. They are built for small business owners and they're always improving. There's a huge focus on user experience. So, quick timing note before I take you into my actual account. I'm so excited that you're here today because, like I said, it's Flodesk is just one of the tools that I cannot run my business without. I'm able to send these beautiful on-brand emails without spending hours wrestling with templates or code, and it just works, and it actually makes the email marketing feel fun again. And I have a big scoop if you don't know already. Flodesk is officially saying goodbye to their unlimited plan later this week. And that means this is your last chance to lock in unlimited emails and subscribers while your subscription remains active. Once it's gone, it's gone. This is the best deal in email marketing history, in my opinion. So if you've been thinking about Flodesk, now's the time. I'm going to mention this again at the end, but just so you have it now, if you're interested in grabbing a free trial and getting 50% off your first year at Flodesk, head to flodesk.com, become a paying member by using my code Alicia, ALYCIA. Please make note of how I spell it, ALYCIA, before November 28th to lock in an unlimited plan before it's gone for good. And again, that's flodesk.com, and you can use promo code Alicia as well. If you don't click that link, you can use promo code Alicia, ALYCIA. I'm going to drop the link in the chat here. Just a moment. Let me put it here. Almost forgot to do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Or you can use the direct link that I'm dropping right there in the chat. And you really shouldn't sleep on this one if you're interested. Even if you're not ready to email yet, I highly suggest you locking in unlimited for life. It's literally ending later this week. This is a big push. I'm a Flodesk partner. And I would love to get you in there just because I love it. Like I am not, like the hair club for men guy. Like I'm not just customer I'm not just the founder, I'm also a customer. I really do love Flodesk. So again, I'll tell you about that again at the end. Okay. For now, let's hop into my actual Flodesk account. So we're going to head over here, and this is great. We're at the 30-minute mark, so perfect. Melissa says, I'm definitely going to do this. I work in client Flodesk workflows, but I need to start my own. Amazing. Good. So you already know your way around for a lot of it. So that's awesome. That's an important thing I want to note as well. Um, that, hold on one second here. Is this where I wanted to go? Here we go. Okay. One thing I wanted to note is that I don't even use all of the features and tools and stuff in Flodesk. There's so many. And there's stuff that I know I won't have to worry about, or it doesn't apply to my business, or whatever. That's why I love that they really listen to their people. They're always improving the tools that exist, but then also implementing new stuff. So like, for example, in the beginning when I signed up with them, they didn't have as many reports and analytics abilities as they do now. They didn't have a lot of the integrations that they do now. Like now they have, Squarespace and Canva, and they just like last week, finally allowed us to put our metapixel, like tracking code stuff onto forms and things like that. So it's very cool that they're always adding. And at the same time, I know that I don't need all of the features. I like that it's there for me, but I don't even use all of them. Okay, so when I log in, this is my actual Flodesk account. Right now, we are heading into Black Friday, so I've got a lot of stuff coming up. And sidebar, one of the cool things that Flodesk just introduced, I think last year, is something called link actions, where okay, basically, if someone clicks a certain link, you set all this up on the back end, it tells Flodesk, hey, this person took this action on this link, and that means this. So, for example, because I know I'm going to be sending out a lot of emails this week about various things that I'm promoting, I'm an affiliate for a couple things, et cetera, et cetera. I understand, like, some people just, like, they're not interested or they don't want a million emails. I get it. I don't want a million emails either. But, oh, sorry. My roommate just came home. I don't want a million emails either. But it's really cool because I set up a link action to say, hey, I'm going to be doing all these extra emails, over the next week. If you are not interested in the content about Black Friday and all this stuff, but you still want to stay on my list, click this link and no hard feelings. I won't email you this stuff. And that has been a very big deal because in the past I wasn't able to do that. And you kind of get a knot in your stomach about like, oh, I don't want to send all these emails, even though I do want to send all these emails because like I have a business so that I make money, right? And email is one of the best ways that I do make money. The ROI on email is like $40 for every $1 that you spend on email marketing or something. It's crazy. And like I said, it's reliable. It's great. Everyone gets a ton of emails. La, 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 la. But it's nice to have that option. And so, because of all the things you're seeing on the screen right now, I have all these different emails that are in scheduled status or draft status, or they've already been sent or whatever. But during this week, I have a little thing on my emails that basically say, don't bother me about Black Friday, Alicia, but keep me on your list otherwise. So that's a really nice thing. So yeah, this is the dashboard. You got all the emails here. You could organize them into folders if you'd like, which I'm gonna need to do next year because things are getting a little bit crazy. But they're not currently organized by folders. But down here, you can choose, how many do you want to show on screen? Up here, you can sort by when they were created or alphabetically. You can sort by status or, whatever. You can also archive emails, get them out of your face. That's very helpful too. Each of these is set up as a little tile, as you can see, and you can either edit. If it's a draft, you could just click the edit button, or you can view the results of a past sent email. Very easy here. I'm going to go into these, but I just want to show you across the top. The other options are forms, which are those sign up forms I talked about earlier. Workflows, which are those automations I talked about. Checkouts. I did not show you checkouts, but we're going to talk about that. Audience, which are those segments that I talked about, and then analytics, which is the reporting. And then over here, under the little account like logo thing. You've got your account overview, team members, which is a new feature. So like I was able to add my virtual assistant Caitlin into my account as a team member, which is very, very helpful. And instead of like having to coordinate with her on two-factor authentication and all that crap, you know. Um, Setting up your actual email address, setting up your domain. This is an important thing. This is like a little bit of a strategy thing, but just a note. If you are going to send emails through Flodesk as a business, you really, really should be using an email address at your domain. So like alicia@aliciayurvis.com, not alicia@gmail.com. It's definitely worth it to invest in a domain-based email address. Especially because as rules are changing in the email world, they want you to be more official, for lack of a better phrase. And so Flodesk walks you through how to get that all set up. We've got checkout set up, branding. I'm going to show you that. Setting up your different opt-ins, integrations, share Flodesk, where you can earn some cash for referrals. That is something that I do. That's what I'm doing right now. And then you go into your plan and billing and get help and all that kind of stuff. Let me show you branding real quick. So here is on the back end, you can upload your logo and then you could choose your actual brand colors right in here. And that means that every time you send an email, you make a form, you build a checkout, whatever, everything is just organized. I don't have any custom brand fonts, but if I did, I could add them here. You add your company details, address, you could choose what social media platforms you're in, etc. And then this carries over to all of your emails in the footer. It like just has everything right there for you. So you don't have to put in your social media stuff every time. You don't have to pick your colors every single time. So I wanted to make sure to mention that. Okay. Let me move over here. Let me go back. Since I didn't show you, actually, no, I'm gonna stay on task. I'm gonna stay with my original plan. We will get to checkout, I promise. Okay. So talking about the email builder itself, I'm going to show you an actual draft. So this is a draft of the email that I'm going to be sending out after this exact session. So we are recording the session right now. When we're done, I'm going to take the recording. I'm going to get it edited. I'm going to get it uploaded to Loom. And then I'm going to drop that recording and link and stuff right in here and send it out to you guys and also everyone who registered who wasn't able to come live and to my whole list. Even if they didn't register, they might change their mind if they could just click a button and watch it when they want. So I'm going to be sending this out later today. And so as you can see, it is basically it's the builder that I showed you before on the Flodesk homepage. But it's very intuitive. You know, if you have used Canva, if you have used Google Docs, if you've used Microsoft Word, you know, if you've used any kind of drag and drop type thing, very, very intuitive. So basically, you can hover over the different sections. It tells you, you know, on the right what they are, text block settings, edit image, et cetera, et cetera. And you would just type, you know, just click in here. You can change the color of things very simply. The email you get later may look different once I finish editing it, but just know you have had the backstage sneak peek of what's going to be in it. So yeah, you just click in, you edit stuff, yada yada, cool, never mind, delete, okay, fine, la la la. You can highlight things and turn them into links. You can add attachments. You can customize right up here. See, it's in gray and it says, hey, first name friend. That's because I'm telling it, hey, Flodesk, use this person's first name. And if I don't have their first name in the account, call them friend. So that's a nice little personalization feature as well. And then over here is where you would pick your fonts, your colors. You could always use colors that are not your brand colors. You can use whatever you want, but you'll see at the bottom, those are my brand colors. Very easily, you know, easily referenced there. You can change, you know, capitalization, alignment, spacing, all that kind of stuff. And then the block itself, you can change the color background to something different. Very easy to do all of this stuff. Okay. Now, let's say you want to add a different section. You would hit this little plus button, and then this menu pops up of the different things that you can add. So layouts, which I'm going to show you specifically in a second, but before I get to that, regular image, drop in your logo, drop in a video, drop in your Instagram feed, a link bar, a button. You can see here, and then you could style the button however you'd like, all these different ways. Very cool. You could drop in a divider bar. See how it just adds this little gray bar. You could drop in a spacer, social media links, a countdown like I showed you earlier, e-commerce that'll go to one of your products. You could do a poll. And if you ever build a section or a layout that you really, really like, you can add it to favorites and then drop it into other emails in the future, which is really helpful. And that is something that they added, I think maybe 2 years ago, that everyone was shouting for. Okay, so this is one of the best parts about email in Flodesk are the layouts. So when you click layouts, here's one layout option, but you'll see over here on the right, there are all these different layout options. And each one of these you can click on. You can customize it. You could drop in pictures. You can change the fonts, change the colors. Different layouts are good for different things. You can make each of them link to a certain thing. You could have, for example, like maybe this one would be good for promoting your latest blog post or your latest podcast episode. And then you could basically have it link to that blog post or that podcast episode. I'm just trying to say like different layouts are good for different things. Very like cute. I love this one, kind of like scrapbooky. The colors are changeable on everything. Invitations to workshops, blog roundups, quotes, testimonials, coupons. You could kind of start seeing what's possible with all of these, and they're all customizable. Everything that you see on them is customizable. And these were one of the things that really drew me in was how nice they looked. Like it was like, ooh, it's like a little magazine. And there's so many options, and they've added a lot of templates or layout options to it over the years too, like some new ones. You can see how many there are here. Really, really fun. I use this phone one a lot. It's fun to drop in like a screenshot. They've also got over here, they've got some collage options and just a couple different options here. So that, again, that's the layout tab. And you could see, it's just, you would click, you would go in and change the backdrop color to, let's see, let's change it to purple. This is, it wants you to drop in an image, but you could also choose to drop in an image from Unsplash. So let's say I want to drop in, let's use this just for example's sake, some sand. Look how good that looks already, right? Change the color of this. Very, very easy. Let's make this semi-bold. Let's do italics. I want to make this round instead. These are just, I'm just whipping this up as you're sitting here. But you can see everything that you click on is customizable. So I just love that. Really, really fun. Okay, so I showed you a little bit about the drag and drop actually like building an email. But also what's cool is that over here, let me go back for a second to choose a template. You can, if you're like, what I do is I send kind of like the same looking type email very frequently. So I will duplicate my last email and just kind of edit it from there. But you could always go over to choose an actual template and then see what's in there. So these are all customizable too. So you don't have to start with designing an email from scratch. You can grab one of their templates of the email itself and customize it. And then in this email, you could drop in some of those layouts I was showing you. So it's like you choose the template And then in the template, you choose the layouts and the different things, and change the colors and the fonts, the pictures, and all that stuff. But they've done so much of the work for you. And you can see over here, they've organized them by, the different objectives. So if you're sharing news, if you want to make money, if you want to start from scratch, et cetera, et cetera. And actually, because templates are so widely used in Flodesk, just a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year actually, they allow you to create your own templates and sell your own templates. So if you're good at making templates, you could sell them for extra cash, which is really cool. And so I have, or sometimes people send templates as a freebie. That's like their opt-in, right? Like download my free email template. And that's their lead magnet, which is really, really cool. So you can see there's so much possibility here, right? How it looks, really, really cool. All right, I want to keep things moving here. Give me a second. Let me go back. So I showed you this draft. Again, keep your eyes peeled for later because I'm going to send this out once the video is done. Okay, so going into forms, here's a bunch of my forms. This is the form that I used to promote this actual workshop. So this was the form that you signed up through. And how I did this is this particular image, I made a GIF in Canva and I uploaded the GIF as the image here. I chose, my wording and all that stuff, got everything customized with the colors and how I want it to be, chose my post submission success message where you can say, hey, keep an eye on your inbox, this is coming, etc. Very cool. And then also, this was a spinner form that I had during Halloween, kind of a trick or treat spin to win thing where I offered a couple different promotions and coupon things, and that's always fun to do. But I have a wide variety of forms, and each of these forms are connected to a different segment. So the audience segments that I mentioned, I'll show that in a second. But each of these puts those people in a segment that you select. Very easy to build a list. The visuals are great. Workflows, again, like I have a lot of these. Some are finished, some are not. But for example, the Flodesk tour welcome, this is the workflow that you yourself went through where you signed up for the event and then I send you an email confirmation saying like, great, you're in. And then I send you reminders to tell you, hey, we're starting at 1:00. Hey, we're starting in 15 minutes, right? Like you got those emails. So this is what it looks like. Trigger, begin when someone is added to the segment Flodesk tour. So that form adds you to that segment. And then once you're in that segment, you get that first piece of that sequence, which is, okay, you're all set. Your tour details are inside. 10 minutes later, I drop you into my general welcome sequence, which I've been running for several years now. I just refreshed it this year. And that's just kind of like a, hi, here's who I am. Here's what I do in my business. Get to know me kind of a thing. And then you're done with the workflow itself. And then it says here, you've completed this workflow. And then over here, back in the emails, see how it says Flodesk Tour Reminder number 2, registrants. So that was sent to you guys. Flodesk Tour Reminder 1, registrants. That was sent to you guys. So I have workflows for delivering lead magnets. I have workflows for signing into forums. I have workflows for the Halloween spinner kind of promo thing. This is that re-engagement campaign that I mentioned, where, it makes you a little bit nervous when you isolate those people that are not active anymore. But again, the juice was worth the squeeze. Like, I don't want to email people that don't want to hear from me. But this engagement campaign lets me kind of work on winning them back, which is really, really great. So yeah, it's workflows are a huge time saver. They can go on forever and ever. You can keep adding stuff to workflows. If you have like a really, really long nurture sequence over like months or even a year, you could do that if you want. There's ways to allow people to enter the workflow, exit the workflow. There's all these different kind of branches of logic and stuff. You can get really intricate with it, like what I was explaining what my assistant does. But you could also keep it super simple too. Okay, now I want to show you segments, like what I was talking about. So when you go into the audience tab and then you click on segments, you have all these different segments. I have 126 segments, which I didn't even know. um, but each of these, you create a segment for all of the stuff that you're working on, and then you assign them, to different tasks, different workflows. And that's how you track everything. So remember I was telling you about, hey, don't tell me about Black Friday stuff, but keep me on your list. That's what this is, Flodesk Tour opt-out. And that will keep updating as I keep, emailing out some other stuff about this season. But it's very cool. So I'm not going to show you the actual segments because I don't want to show you email addresses and stuff, but you could see like how it keeps things organized. You can choose multiple segments per email that you're sending, which is also really, really helpful. Okay, then let me go into checkouts because I promised that before. So I have a bunch of checkouts here, and I'm going to show you specifically. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you my Empower Hour checkout. So basically, these are sales pages. There are simple layout ones, and then there's, more customized, kind of visual ones, which this one is. I'm going to be refreshing this one soon. But this is nice if you want to sell a product, sell, a coaching session, do registration for an event, what have you. And it's the same way. It's the intuitive builder. You're going to add different blocks. You can choose these different layouts for things based on what you're trying to do, different text layouts. These are automatically optimized to drive conversions. That's why anytime that you add in a section here on a checkout, there's always going to only be one button, and that button is always going to go right to checkout, right to the, the purchase area. Flodesk is very good at, setting that up for you. You've got new pricing options here, testimonials, countdowns, all this kind of stuff. And then, so once someone takes an action on your page, if they are like, okay, I'm ready, I want to book my session, they would click this button, and then it would bring them to the actual checkout page here. And you could see here on the left, take credit cards, they take Apple Pay, Google Pay, Klarna, all these different options are available to them. You could turn them on and off as you'd like. You could also add like an upsell, which is cool. If someone, again, with that interest-based stuff, if someone is buying a social media tool, they might want another social media tool. Or if they're buying, an email tool, they might want like an Empower Hour session to talk through that email project, So you can easily add an upsell here and hopefully increase your order. And then it goes into the delivery. This is what happens after they buy. This again is all customizable, all changeable, very, very cool. Okay, let me go back. I'm going to open up for questions in a minute. I just want to make sure I get through all of these. Okay, so I also want you to know that Flodesk is excellent with support and their learning resources. So they have a help center, which is help.flodesk.com. You could search through tons of articles here. They have video tutorials, all different kinds of things, plus an actual support team ready to help you. So they are here for you. They also have something called Flodesk University, which is an online campus of Flodesk instructors ready to share their knowledge, their insights, and really help you improve your results with Flodesk and with email marketing. And I've tapped into here a bunch of times. It's really great. There also is this Facebook group. Sorry about that. There's a Facebook group called Flodesk Insiders, which isn't like official support, but it is run by Flodesk, and it's nice to lurk in here and get ideas from people, see what other folks are doing, ask some questions, kind of troubleshoot. Normally they tell you to contact support directly, but it's still nice to just see like what's going on. Sometimes they post announcements. They offer opportunities for you to share your stuff in here. Like if you've made a checkout or a product or whatever, they like to encourage that in the group. Let's see what you made using Flodesk. They just introduced payment plans, so you're able to offer payment plans to your customers, which is huge. Very, very cool. Previously, they had Klarna and Afterpay and all that stuff, and that's still been a good thing too, because you get your money right away as a seller if a customer chooses Klarna or Afterpay. But payment plans are great. So if you have like a higher ticket item or maybe a course where they make a payment every month or something like that, like you finally can do that in Flowdesk. So that's been really great. That's been really great as well. Um, Okay. So yeah, basically like you won't be left on your own is the main thing I want to convey. There's many ways that people can support you on your email marketing journey. And then the final thing I just want to show is like talked about, they listen to their users. There is an area here, updates.flowdesk.com, where you can actually submit an idea. You could submit a feature request. So if there's something that, you really wish Flowdesk was offering, or, something's a little glitchy, you wish it wasn't like that, you can submit it and then people can upvote it, and they start working on it. And you can track what they're working on by accessing their roadmap. So they've got a public roadmap, which is updates.flowdesk.com/roadmap. And you can see what recently came out, what's currently in development, what's up next after that, and what is planned, which is really, really cool for peace of mind, just for expectation setting and all that kind of stuff. So I love that they do that. Really, really awesome. Okay. So again, oh, we have some stuff in the chat. So I'm going to stop the share for a second because I want to make sure that I hop into the chat and see what's going on. Anissa said, I'm guessing you can have it not send the welcome sequence if the person signing up is already on your list. Yes, I have mine set up so that someone only goes through the welcome sequence once. So if they download one of my freebies or whatever, I can still deliver the freebie to them, but but then and then they go through the welcome sequence. But then if they get another freebie or they buy another thing or whatever, it knows to like override that. And it won't send them through again. It's just a way that you have to set it up. That's a little more strategy-y than what I was talking about today, but yes, you can do that. I need to know more of this either here, if I move, or in my Kit account. Interesting. I'm not sure if Kit has sales pages. I need to figure this out. So they take a percentage. Is this separate from Stripe? So Flowdesk uses they do use Stripe. I'm trying to remember if it's Stripe Express or what it is. I will follow up with you on that, the actual setup piece, because again, that's a little more technical than what I'm getting into today. But I'll follow up with you on that. Okay, so now I just want to paste in, hold on a second. Give me a second here, guys. Here we go. Okay. So again, if you are interested at all in email marketing, even if you're not ready to sign up just yet, or to start sending emails just yet, I super, super encourage you to get in by November 28th so that you could take advantage of unlimited. Now, of course, you could still sign up after November 28th. You just won't have the unlimited option anymore because they're changing their pricing. And that will all be happening by November 28th. So even if you're not going to start emailing, until the new year or whatever, you should lock in unlimited now if you're interested. Plus, if you use the link, you also get a free trial and you get 50% off your first year. And yes, that is an affiliate link with me. So I just feel like now is kind of the moment. And I'm going to be doing an email marketing workshop in January. So that's another reason why I wanted to say like, hey, get your tool, get your tool and land on your tool. And then, after the holidays and the craziness and all that stuff, we'll work together to get you up and running with actually using it. I love email so much. I really believe in it. I'm always telling people like, okay, you've been thinking about this since 2012. Like now is the time. Um, Okay. So first things first, I had a couple FAQs that came up when I was talking about this in another group. So someone had asked, do I need a big list to start? And the answer is no. Many people start using Flodesk with zero. By the time I moved to Flodesk, I think I had like 40 or 50 people on my list. Now I have like about 800 active. But I just did that big cleaning. So I had a lot more than that. But it's okay because we're always list building, and especially over the holidays and heading into the new year, I'm going to be focusing even more on list building. But plenty of people just start with Flodesk. They start at zero, and Flodesk helps you really start to grow your list with those forms and a lot of the, actions that the forms can take. Um, Another question here was, uh, is Flodesk beginner friendly? I think that it is, but again, that's why I wanted to do this tour. A friend of mine, she was looking the other day, my friend Cynthia, she was looking to possibly change platforms. She loves my emails. Bye, Anissa. Thank you so much for being here. Have an awesome Thanksgiving. She loves my emails and she knew that I use Flodesk, but thank you so much, Anissa. She knew that I use Flodesk, but she was like, can you just like tell me like, why do you like it? How does it work? That kind of thing. We hopped on Zoom, like very informally. And I kind of just did what I just did with you guys. I poked around, I showed her different things, showed her what's possible. And she was like, oh my God, like done. And she locked it in before it expired, that unlimited thing. Um, and she does use email, but I forget what platform she's currently on. But she was looking for more of the checkout stuff, like the sales pages that I was showing you. And so that's what made the change for her because she didn't have that. Let's see here. Yeah, selling digital products. So let me show you for a moment here. This is not paid digital products, but on my website, I have a freebies page, and each of these is connected to a different Flodesk account. So, and yes, my website just popped confetti. I have a little code that runs that. Um, so for example, I have this free guide called OMG, It's So Me, Personalize Your Brand, Content, and Biz Vibe. So when they click this button, now we are on a full page Flodesk form, an opt-in form. So, and you can see here, make yours free with Flodesk. You could turn this on or off, by the way, if you'd like. I just turn it on because it's connected to my affiliate and I like to promote it because I love it. So yeah, they would sign up through here, and then they would go through one of those workflow sequences that I showed you. Um, and so that's one thing. But also, let me go back. Let me show you remember how I told you about the link in bio? So currently I'm still using Linktree, but I'm eventually going to be on link in bio. I'm eventually going to be on Flodesk for the link in bio thing. But this is my Linktree. This has all kinds of stuff on here, freebies, forms, um, paid products, services, all this kind of stuff. But for example, um, some of the paid items I have, so if they wanted to sign up for my ultimate social media marketing checklist. This is a bundle that I offer. I think it's $7 or something like that. And you can see how it's similar to the Empower Hour sales page that I had, but this is for a paid digital product. So same kind of thing, it's all customizable. And then if someone's ready, it brings them right to checkout. And so, yeah, you could totally sell digital products through here. Absolutely. Um, okay, let me go back here. Uh, So after someone asked about unlimited being gone, yes, you could still sign up after unlimited is gone. You're still going to be able to get a free trial. You're still going to get a discount on your first year, but it is a lesser discount. I think it's 25%. And there's just different pricing tiers at that point. And they're actually still rolling out that new pricing, or still finalizing that new pricing. I think they're rolling it out later this week. So I don't know the specifics of the new pricing yet. I just know that unlimited is going away. And so if you want that free trial and the 50% off your first year, definitely grab that link in the chat. Um, and again, like I have that email workshop coming up next year. So I wanted to make sure that you get your tool. Um, that was about it for me for today. Again, this was just like loosey-goosey. Let me, just kind of poke around and show you some of the stuff that is inside Flodesk. Do you have any more questions? Please fire away. You could also always send me an email afterwards or find me on social media, ask me a follow-up question. Totally cool. But I just love Flodesk so much. I am definitely like a fangirl. And I have seen what's possible with email marketing, and I have seen so many people just like solely relying on social media. And again, I love social media, but it's just one piece of the pie. And so for those of you listening on the replay, if you've been meaning to check out email marketing or you've been meaning to explore Flowdesk or whatever, now's the time. This is the perfect time to get in here, get serious about it. In the new year, we'll be ready to rock. I'm excited for that workshop too. And I'm still building that behind the scenes. I'm still working out what's inside, what the workshop will be called, pricing, VIP level, all this kind of stuff. But I love it. I get tons of questions about my email marketing process. My strategy, what tool I'm using all the time. But, how do you do that? How do you get that to send to me automatically? All that kind of stuff is great. And the lead mag or the forms, whether they're for a paid item or not, like those have been just fantastic for growing my list. That's been the main way that I have grown my list, being able to pull together a nicely designed form, be able to, have someone sign up quickly and get into my ecosystem has been huge. And then I chose to run a welcome sequence as well, to keep them engaged and have them get to know me without me having to like manually send those emails. Okay, cool. So if there are no more questions, if there are, drop them in the chat. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here today. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much for checking out the replay. Again, you've got till November 28th to lock in unlimited. So head to flodesk.com/C/Alicia, all in caps, ALYCIA. You can see the link there on the video. Or you can drop in promo code Alicia at checkout, ALYCIA. Melissa said, thank you so much, Alicia. We'll be signing up with your link. Awesome, Melissa. Thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions, problems, anything that you need. I'm here. Otherwise, everybody have an awesome Thanksgiving, and I will see you definitely on Flodesk and in your inbox because I'm going to be sending out stuff for Black Friday, and then I'm going to be sending out stuff over Christmas too. But I will stay in touch with you, and then I hope to see you all at my email workshop in the new year. All right, friends, thanks so much for being here. Talk soon, and happy emailing. Bye-bye.